ॐ श्री महागणपतये नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः परदेवतायै नमः ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्राय नमः सद्गुरु साईश्वरायै नमः ॐ साईराम ॐ असहय सहायाय नमः. Now let us hear the chapters of Sri Sai Satcharita written by Hemat Pant, based on Sri Sai Satcharitam written in Malayalam by N. Somashekaran, translated by Sulini V. Nair. Chapter 18. Prostrations to Bhagavan Sai, who is beyond dualities of pleasure and pain, gain and loss. By the power of your endless grace, may I continue telling your story. Baba led devotees towards the divine along paths suited to each one's capability. Though the paths seemed very different, the goal was always the same. The Guru sometimes gives personal spiritual advice. Some disciples keep this a secret. They fear that if shared with others, the Guru's advice will lose its power. This is not true. Any advice that the Guru gives in person or through a dream may be communicated to anyone. It is not wrong to share something that will benefit everyone. The biggest example of this is the wise sage Kaushika. He received a secret Sri Ram Rakshaka Stotra in his dream and readily imparted it to his devotees. We do not need a bigger corroboration for this fact. The Guru is like a heavy downpour. He happily showers eternal bliss upon all. It is for us to take and to share with others. The mother will forcefully make the child take bitter medicine. Others may feel this is harsh, but the mother does this with great love, with the desire that her darling child must be free of illness. The compassionate Sai was also like this. He led devotees in various ways, but his teachings were not secret. Everything was imparted in the open, and devotees benefited much because of it. Baba fulfills our desires, but also points out to us the divine beauty of the Atman, thus gradually removing our desire for worldly pleasures. As a result, discrimination and dispassion grow within, leading to jnana. Therefore, always remain surrendered at his feet and serve them. The Guru is verily God, our true parent. If the gods get angry, the Guru will protect us. But know that if the Sadguru is unhappy with us, there will be no one to come to our rescue. Serve the Guru's feet to be rid of all sins. Sai was always a Kalpataru to his devotees. He raised each one in unique and different ways. Let us recall a Leela. Sate was a well-known wealthy merchant in Mumbai. After a while, he suffered severe losses. Despite trying hard, he was unable to reverse it. Sad and dejected, he realized nothing was stable in the life. With that, due to his good karma, his mind turned towards God. He set out in search of a quiet place to contemplate and to calm his restless mind. And God paved the way for this sincere and intense desire to bear fruit. It was at this time that a friend told him about Baba. Why don't you go for Baba's darshan? So many devotees take refuge at his feet, have their desires fulfilled and find peace. Go to him. Offer yourself at his feet. If he bestows his compassion on you, all your miseries will end that very moment. These words felt like a shower of ambrosia to Satin, like one suffering from intense thirst found cold, sweet water. Like one suffering from intense hunger found a sumptuous feast. Sate set out for Shirdi immediately. Upon reaching there, he went to the masjid and saw Baba. All his anxieties vanished. His heart was filled with peace. Joy welled up within and flowed as tears from his eyes. He felt certain that it was only due to merits from previous births that he had received Baba's holy darshan. From that day on, he started reading the Guru Charitra, a sacred text about the life and teachings of the great saint Dattatreya and his disciples, mainly Narasimha Saraswati and Gangadhara Saraswati. He planned to read it as a saptaha. The day his reading ended, he had a dream darshan of Baba. In the dream, Baba started reading the Guru Charitra and explained the meaning to Sate. Sate, who listened with the greatest reverence. Sate woke up in the middle of the dream and felt immense joy. He recounted everything to Kaka Sahib Dikshit and then requested, "My friend, I do not understand the significance of this dream darshan. Will you please ask Baba to guide me according to his wish? I will not have peace until then." Accordingly, at the next opportunity, Kaka Sahib Dikshit humbly conveyed this to Baba and prayed, "Swami, be pleased to shower your grace on that simple devotee and guide him as to what he is to do. Please reveal the significance of the dream darshan he had." Baba said, "Ask him to read as Saptaha one more time. Devotees are purified through reading the divine life of the Guru. It pleases God and they are freed from the shackles of worldly life." I, Hemat Pant, was massaging Baba's feet as he spoke these words. Hearing these words, my mind was in turmoil. I thought, "Bhagavan, how strange are your ways. I have been serving you for so many years. And Sate, he has achieved that what needs to be attained in merely 7 days. Baba has showered his grace when he did one Saptaha reading of the Guru Charitra. I have been reading it for 40 years and he does not even notice me. I have been waiting for his grace like the hornbill waits for the clouds to shower cold rain. When will you shower your grace upon me, Sai Ishvara? Will you ever grant me spiritual growth someday?" The moment I had this thought, Baba knew it. He looked at me compassionately and said, Go and meet Shama. Speak to him for a while and come back with 15 rupees as dakshina." I got up not knowing why Baba was asking me to do this. There is nothing that Baba, the indweller of all beings, does not know. He knows even our smallest thoughts. It is natural for bad thoughts to arise in our mind, ridden as they are with latent mental tendencies. But the compassionate mother that he is, he pretends to never see anything bad within us and constantly encourages the development of noble thoughts. I went to Shama. He had just had his bath and was wearing only his dhotar. Seeing him, he asked, "How come you are here now? Looks like you are coming from the masjid. You seem dejected. What happened? And why have you come alone? Anyway, do take a seat, have pan and be peaceful. I will finish my daily worship and come soon." Shama went inside to finish his worship. Noticing the Nath Bhagavata on the window sill, I picked it up and leafed through it. It opened to the very page that I had been reading that morning and had left incomplete. Thus, I was able to complete my unfinished reading. The Marathi book Nath Bhagavata is a commentary by the Saint Eknath on the 11th canto of the Bhagavata. This book was very dear to Baba and he considered it a second incarnation of the Jnaneshwari. Anyone who reads the 11th canto with faith will soon receive the darshan of God. When Shama returned after completing his worship, I told him about the reason for my visit. Baba told me to get 15 rupees as dakshina from you. He also told me to speak with you for some time. Hearing this, Shama was surprised. "I do not have 15 rupees. Instead, please accept and take with you my 15 humble prostrations." "I accept them. Now let us talk for a while. Please tell me some of Baba's leelas." "Please remain seated while I go and change my dress." Shama changed, came back and started speaking. "How am I to describe Baba's leelas?" "Who can do that? His leelas are endless. You are all great scholars and I am but an ordinary villager. What can I say about this great God?
I remember an incident now. Do listen carefully. I saw it with my own eyes. Baba's ways are unfathomable, but whatever noble resolve you make, Baba will make it happen for you. But sometimes he severely tests his devotee. If the devotee's love and devotion are found to be strong, he will bless the devotee with Upadesha. The word Upadesha hit me like a lightning. I remembered Sate's Guru Charitra reading immediately. I understood that Baba had sent me to Shama for answers to my thoughts. I felt great interest in listening to the story. Shama continued to speak. Radhabhai was Keshbai Deshmukh's aged mother. Hearing of Baba's fame, she came for his darshan. When she saw Baba, she was convinced that her life had been blessed. She mentally accepted him as her guru. She felt a great desire to receive a mantra from Baba and felt sure that it would speed up her spiritual progress. She started intense sadhana to get this wish fulfilled. She even gave up food and water. 3 days passed, and she still seemed very resolute. She was eager, determined, and full of faith in the potency of the mantra that she would receive from Baba. She decided that she did not want the body if it did not receive Baba's blessing. I got worried seeing this. I felt it would end in a great tragedy. I rushed to the masjid.
Baba smiled at me sweetly and asked, "What happened, Shama? What news? All well with you?" I was overcome with emotion and said, "Swami, who can fathom your ways? Why such a Leela? Isn't it according to your will that each person comes to Shirdi? And yet you asked us as though you do not know anything. That old lady has not had even water for 3 whole days. I'm feeling scared. The stubborn lady has decided she will not take even a sip of water without receiving your blessing, and you are not even looking at her. She has become shriveled like a dry twig. At this rate, she will surely die. If something like that happens, what will people say about you? They will say that the poor old lady died without receiving Baba's mercy. I do not have the strength to listen to such accusations against you, Deva. Please bless that lady." We will read the rest of the story in the following chapter. I surrender at Baba's lotus feet first. Listen to Sai's Leelas. To cross over samsara, I make this humble request to all of you. End of chapter 18. Om Asahaya Sahayaya Namah.